Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. I have had 3 distinct parts in my life. I'm going to talk about each one of those so that you can become more familiar with who I am. The first part of my story takes place during the first 38 years of my life. I was born, as they say. I had a great marriage. I had 2 kids, and a good career. Everything was going. I just bought a house. Everything was going great. Then the second part happened, and that's when I had a tragic accident with some medicine that really was an unknown factor. So we have the first part, everything's going well. And the second part, all of a sudden, things changed. My whole life was turned upside down. I found out that I could no longer use my legs. And that was an all. That everything below here pretty much doesn't work right. It works in weird ways, let me say that. And because of that, I had to learn how to deal with a lot of things. I went through grief. I went through an adjustment period. A lot of people were affected. My children were affected. My son, who was 6 at the time, was very angry at me for the next 10 years. And it was because a child doesn't understand that when his dad is taken away, it's not because of the dad. It's nothing I did. He didn't understand that because he was a kid. But it took a long time, and when he was 16, he finally, 17, around that age, he finally started coming around, went away to college, and everything turned around. And that was Jacob. That's my son. Now, the third part of my story is after I got through all of the mess of learning how to deal with being a paraplegic, and I started doing things, I started living my life again. I became a self-actualized individual, realizing that just because I can't use part of my body doesn't mean that I can't have a full life. I went ahead and started competing in 5Ks, rolling 5Ks of course, that I had never done before. I had never competed in a race before. Started rolling 5Ks. I ended up doing 15 of them. I got special long leg braces that allowed me to stand up and walk stiff-legged with forearm crutches, and I would actually walk at the end of those races. So I would roll 5Ks, short 200 feet, then I would stand up and walk across the finish line. And this became a thing that I did. All of a sudden, I was in the Signal newspaper, I was in the LA Times once, I was interviewed on the radio, I was on ABC. It was kind of a fun thing. So I have media attention all of a sudden that I had never thought that I'd have, but it was fun. I joined Toastmasters in 2011, and I'm going to be getting my DTM next month. So or this month, it's December. So it's very exciting that I've come full circle in a sense. I've become who I am again, and I've gone beyond that. So now you know a little bit about what happened before, and by the way, I was a ballroom dancer. People say, oh, don't you miss walking? Let me tell you, walking is overrated. I can get from here to there just as easily as you can. However, I was a ballroom dancer. Swing dancing was my life. That's something I can't do the same way I could before. However, again, thinking about how I could possibly change what I did then into how I do it now, I found a wheelchair and non-wheelchair, regular person, if you will, dance class, a place where I could do ballroom dancing again. And so I just started taking lessons with my wife, and so I'm back into the song of swing dancing again. It's very different, but it's more like how I did it than not. Because up until this point, the music's been in my head, and every time I hear a swing dance song, I can feel it. I just can't do it the same way. So now, I have the opportunity to go on and do that. I have 2 websites, I've been on the radio, I just wrote a book, so things have have gone on. And I've always been a tech guru, a kind of a geek kind of a person. And that was even before. I was going way back. And so I've helped people build websites, and it's something that I'm getting back into as well. So now you have the three parts of Mark. You have a little bit about my background, something about what happened to me, and here I am now, ready to move on and just enjoy life as best as I can, Mr. Toastmaster.